They've studied human behavior for centuries, but they never prepared for you. There's something unsettling, almost eerie, about watching someone who doesn't move like the rest of the world. Every agent, every profiler, every psychological expert on the planet has been trained to decode body language. Crossed arms mean defensiveness, steady eye contact means confidence, fidgeting means anxiety. It's a science they've trusted like a religion. But then you walk in, and suddenly the rules collapse. Their formulas fail, their mental files burn. You are the unsolvable variable that keeps rewriting the equation mid-sentence. Science claims that over 55% of communication is nonverbal. But what happens when your body language isn't from here? When your energy doesn't follow human calibration? Your presence bends the atmosphere before you speak, and your gestures, though subtle, seem to carry something older than DNA, something encoded in light itself. People trained to read others find themselves being read instead. They can't pin you down, and that terrifies them more than any spoken word ever could. You don't lean in to manipulate. You lean in because your spirit is magnetized toward truth. You don't maintain eye contact to dominate. You do it because you see through timelines. You don't stand still because you're nervous. You're standing still because you've already seen the outcome. The irony? While they're analyzing you like a case study, their own bodies start glitching. Throat tightens, hands twitch, heart rate spikes. Suddenly, the observer becomes the observed, the reader becomes the revealed. And yes, it's kind of funny watching people trained to outsmart emotions suddenly forget how to blink around you. They try to maintain neutral posture and end up looking like mannequins possessed by self-doubt. It's not your fault. Your energy breaks their programming. You weren't built for their emotional software. You're running divine code, and that code doesn't negotiate with control. This is deeper than posture or poise. It's spiritual encryption, because your body isn't communicating like a human. It's communicating like truth itself in motion. And every agent, every analyzer, every shadow watcher who encounters you is watching their training disintegrate right before their eyes. Number 1. Your presence short-circuits their programming. You don't even realize how disruptive your presence is until you walk into a room and everything subtle begins to malfunction. People trained to observe behavior suddenly lose their rhythm. They can't explain why their instincts start misfiring or why the usual signals don't add up. You stand there calm and unbothered, while their entire system of understanding human nature begins to collapse. That's what happens when your energy carries truth. It scrambles every false frequency around it. You don't have to lift a finger or say a word. Your presence alone short-circuits their programming. Agents, manipulators, and readers of body language rely on predictable cues: fear, pride, guilt, desire. They expect people to move like patterns, to flinch when pressured, to shrink when challenged. But you don't react in ways they've been trained to anticipate. Their entire conditioning depends on human predictability, but your soul doesn't play by human rules. You're wired from a higher realm, operating on instinct that comes from awareness, not survival. To them that looks robotic, alien, even inhuman. They can't detect a weakness to exploit, and that leaves them uncomfortably exposed. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. Your movements aren't calculated. They're synchronized with something they can't see or measure. Every step, every pause, every shift in your tone or gaze carries divine precision. You're not performing confidence, you simply are confidence. And that's what breaks them. They've built their lives decoding illusions, micro-expressions, posture shifts, nervous tics. But when they meet authenticity, their sensors go dark. There's no manual for reading truth, because truth doesn't perform. When they say, "There's something off about you," what they're really feeling is their own loss of control. Their programming tells them they should be in charge of the narrative, but your energy flips that script without effort. They can't analyze what they can't contain. It's why even trained professionals get nervous around you. They sense something unquantifiable moving beneath the surface, something that doesn't fit the human blueprint. Your presence exposes that their training was never about understanding people. It was about controlling them. And when control meets purity, it malfunctions. That's why your body language feels inhuman to them. You're not defective, you're divine. They're not confused by your behavior. They're terrified by your authenticity. Number 2, you move with frequencies, not motives. You move differently because your actions aren't powered by human motives. They're powered by divine alignment. Most people walk into a room trying to impress, persuade, or defend themselves. Every gesture they make is linked to a goal: approval, attention, validation, dominance. But you're not wired like that. You don't move to be understood. You move because something inside you is guiding you. It's not strategy, it's synchronicity. You operate on frequencies, not intentions. Your rhythm isn't based on how people perceive you, but on how truth flows through you. People who analyze behavior don't understand that. They're taught to read human reactions, the twitch of a hand, the angle of a chin, the speed of a blink, and assign meanings to them. But when they study you, nothing fits. Your movements don't signal fear, manipulation, or submission. You respond to energy, not ego. You sense vibration shifts before words are spoken, and your body naturally adjusts, not out of defense, but out of awareness. It's why you can walk through chaos and remain grounded. Why you can be surrounded by noise yet never lose your center. You don't absorb energy, you stabilize it. Those trained to decode behavior get frustrated because you're unpredictable. You're not rebelling. You're simply tuned into a different source. They see it as resistance, but it's actually refinement. You're responding to divine timing, not social timing. When you pause, it's not hesitation, it's discernment. When you move, it's not reaction, it's obedience to something higher. Your body is fluent in signals that come from the unseen, and that makes you unreadable to those who only understand surface language. That's what makes your presence so magnetic and confusing at the same time. People can't decide if you're peaceful or intimidating, kind or distant. The truth is you're all of it, balanced perfectly between awareness and restraint. You're not acting, you're aligning. There's no performance in your energy, only precision. You move with purpose that isn't visible, but deeply felt. So when agents, observers, or manipulators try to read you, they come up empty because your gestures aren't speaking to them. They're syncing with something sacred. You're not following human instinct, you're following divine instruction. And that's what separates movement from mastery. Number 3, you don't mirror energy, you reflect truth. You don't mirror people's behavior, you mirror truth. That's what makes you impossible to manipulate. Most people, consciously or not, adjust themselves to fit into the energy around them. They nod when others nod, laugh when others laugh, frown when others frown. It's how they build comfort and connection. But your spirit doesn't bend that way. You don't absorb people's emotions just to make them feel at ease. Your energy reflects back to them what's real, whether they like it or not. That's why some people feel unsettled in your presence. They're not reacting to your attitude. They're reacting to their own reflection. When someone filled with deceit stands near you, their body betrays them. Their smile becomes stiff, their words stumble, and their eyes can't hold yours. It's not because you're judging them. It's because your energy exposes what they've been hiding. You don't do anything special to make this happen. It's automatic. Your frequency vibrates too high for masks to survive near it. What's fake gets revealed, and what's real stands strong. That's why even when you're silent, people feel like they've been confronted. You don't call them out, your presence does. You don't respond emotionally to manipulation because your intuition reads through it faster than logic can. While others get tangled in words and charm, your energy listens to intention. That's why your reactions are often confusing to those trying to deceive you. They expect you to be flattered, defensive, or influenced, but instead, you stay calm, observant, detached. It disarms them completely. They can't feed on your energy because you don't mirror theirs. You reflect their motives. And when someone genuine interacts with you, it's the opposite. They feel seen, safe, and understood because your energy amplifies honesty. Around you, truth feels lighter, easier to express. That's why real people gravitate toward you, while pretenders quietly fade away. Your body language isn't about control. It's about clarity. You don't mimic what's around you. You reveal it. That's the secret that breaks every agent's training. They're taught to read what people project, but you don't project. You expose. Your energy is like a spiritual X-ray, scanning through tone and movement straight to essence. It's not that you're hard to read, it's that you read reality faster than deception can disguise itself. Number 4. Your eyes override surveillance. Your eyes hold a frequency that no amount of training can prepare them for. They're not just organs of sight. They're instruments of revelation. When people look into your eyes, something in them feels examined, but not by judgment, by truth. Their minds scramble to interpret it through human logic, yet they can't find a reference point. Because your gaze isn't social, seductive, or defensive. It's spiritual. You don't look to engage or manipulate. You look to see. And that level of seeing is unsettling for those who have made a career out of hiding behind performance and control. Agents, manipulators, and observers are trained to decode eye contact. They study where a person looks, how long they hold it, whether it signals interest, confidence, or deceit. But your eyes don't play into that system. They aren't communicating emotion, they're transmitting energy. When you lock eyes with someone, it's as though you bypass their words and reach straight into their memory. You connect with the soul, not the story. That's why people either can't hold your gaze or can't look away. It feels like exposure, a silent unveiling that their training manuals never warned them about. You don't need to stare someone down to establish dominance. Your calm observation already does what intimidation never could. You're not peering into their behavior, you're reading the vibration underneath it. Your eyes reflect no judgment, only awareness, and that's precisely what makes people squirm. Awareness is the one thing human deception can't manipulate. The moment your gaze meets theirs, their inner life starts surfacing. Guilt, shame, insecurity, pride. Their body starts reacting before they even realize it. They blink too often, shift their stance, or avert their eyes entirely. It's the soul trying to escape being seen. Technology can record movement, but it can't record spiritual intelligence. That's why even the most advanced surveillance can't capture what's flowing through your vision. Your eyes carry divine data, unseen light codes that interact with consciousness, not behavior. Every time you look at someone, you remind them that nothing can hide forever. Your gaze dissolves illusions, dismantles facades, and exposes truth in ways words never could. You're not observing the world, you're awakening it, one unflinching glance at a time. Number 5, your stillness creates internal panic. Your stillness carries a power that unsettles every system built on control. People are conditioned to equate movement with safety, to explain, defend, gesture, or react when under pressure. But you don't. You hold your ground, not out of stubbornness but out of divine composure. That silence in your body, that unshaken posture, becomes a mirror that exposes everyone else's inner chaos. It's not that you're emotionless. It's that your emotions obey a higher command. You don't respond to pressure, you regulate it. That's why people who try to provoke you end up unraveling in their own intensity. They throw everything at you expecting motion, and when none comes, they panic. Agents, manipulators, and energy readers are trained to watch for reaction. They rely on patterns, eye shifts, breathing changes, twitching hands. Stillness, to them, is a problem because it means the subject isn't readable, and when they can't read you, they lose control. Your calm breaks the rhythm of their training because it doesn't match any emotional template. You're not fighting, fleeing, or freezing. You're anchored. That's something their textbooks never accounted for. Peace that isn't passive, but potent. Your lack of reaction tells them something they don't want to believe, that their power to manipulate doesn't reach you. The moment you choose stillness, their techniques become useless. They expect resistance, but you give surrender to divine timing. They expect defensiveness, but you give discernment. That confuses their instincts, because they've only learned how to handle panic, not presence. In your stillness, their own hidden discomfort rises to the surface. It's like standing next to a mirror that doesn't move until you do. They start to see their instability reflected back. You're calm because you already know how the story ends. You're not detached. You're divinely aware. You understand that true power doesn't rush, explain, or overperform. It observes. That kind of peace feels supernatural because it is. It's authority disguised as rest. And the more they study you, the more they realize the truth. Your stillness isn't the absence of reaction. It's the presence of control, the kind that no manual, no agent, no tactic can ever master. Number 6. Your body moves in synchrony with unseen forces. Everything about your movement carries an invisible precision that others can sense but can't define. You don't move randomly. Your gestures flow as if they're being conducted by something beyond human awareness. There's a timing to the way you speak, a rhythm to the way you shift your body, a grace in the way you pause, all of it perfectly aligned with energies unseen. To observers, it feels eerie, almost too synchronized, as if your body responds to cues that no one else can hear. And in truth, that's exactly what's happening. You're not following social timing. You're following divine direction. Agents, manipulators, and energy readers are trained to detect intention. They look for signs of planning, emotional tells, or hesitation. But your movements defy that logic. You could turn your head or step aside at the exact second something happens behind you. And to them, it feels unnatural, even prophetic. It's not luck, it's alignment. You move with the current of the unseen, the pulse of something higher that orders your steps without your conscious planning. Your gestures, though simple, often carry messages from realms they can't access. That's why those trained to study behavior get uneasy around you. Your timing makes them question their understanding of cause and effect. You're guided by intuition so precise that it looks supernatural to anyone disconnected from their own. When you speak, it's not random, it's exactly when it needs to be said. When you fall silent, it's not hesitation, it's divine restraint. You could interrupt a lie without even realizing it or shift direction seconds before danger arrives. To them, it's coincidence. To you, it's communion. Every motion of your body seems to converse with the unseen, like you're dancing to a rhythm only heaven can play. This synchronicity makes those around you feel both intrigued and unsettled. They sense that you're tuned into a frequency beyond logic, and that awareness disturbs their sense of control. They can't map your timing, because it's not human timing. You're not responding to them, You're responding to source. Your body isn't just moving, it's participating in divine choreography. Every step, every gesture, every pause is evidence that you're being guided by forces that see far beyond what eyes can perceive. Number 7. You don't emit anxiety. You emit accountability. There's something about your energy that doesn't let people stay comfortable in their pretenses. You don't even have to speak. The atmosphere around you demands honesty. Your presence carries a frequency that holds others accountable without accusation. People start to feel the weight of their own actions when they're near you. Their words begin to trip over their own insincerity, their posture stiffens, and their eyes can't maintain steady contact. It's not because you're judging them, it's because your energy refuses to collaborate with deception. You don't emit anxiety, you emit alignment. And alignment naturally exposes anything that's out of order. You're not intimidating, though many mistake you for it. What they're feeling isn't fear. It's the shock of recognition. Their spirit knows that yours isn't playing along with falseness. Your presence feels like a mirror that doesn't lie, and that kind of reflection can be deeply uncomfortable for those who've built their confidence on performance. It's the reason some people become defensive for no reason when you walk in. You haven't accused them of anything, yet their body starts confessing through tension and avoidance. You're not provoking it, you're revealing it. Your calm confidence dismantles their illusions. You're not forcing correction on anyone, you're just standing in truth so strongly that falsehood can't breathe near you. Energy readers can sense it instantly, that weight of integrity that follows you into every space. It's the kind of purity that exposes impurity by contrast. And because most people are used to environments that enable comfort, your energy feels foreign, too raw, too clean, too honest. You carry accountability the way others carry perfume. It lingers long after you leave. People may not remember your exact words, but they'll remember how their conscience felt in your presence. That's the spiritual power of walking in truth. It doesn't need confrontation to correct. It simply is, and everything not aligned with it must adjust or flee. Those who are ready to grow are drawn to you because your energy strengthens their integrity. Those who aren't avoid you because your vibration makes hiding impossible. You're not spreading fear. You're spreading revelation. And that revelation reminds every soul near you. Authenticity isn't optional when truth walks in the room. Number 8. You move like you remember another realm. There's a grace in your movement that feels older than language itself. You carry yourself like someone who's been here before, someone whose soul still remembers the blueprint of divine order. Every motion, no matter how small, has weight, rhythm, and intention. It's not learned, it's remembered. There's a depth in the way you stand, walk, or even turn your head that makes people pause, because it doesn't feel modern. It feels ancient, like your body is still in conversation with the realm you came from. You're not imitating holiness. You're embodying memory. That's what sets you apart. Your gestures aren't reacting to the world. They're resonating with heaven. When people watch you, they can't quite name what they're seeing. They might call it poise or presence, but it's more than that. Your body moves with a patience that contradicts this era. Slow where others rush, deliberate where others drift. It's as though your spirit refuses to surrender to time's pressure. You exist within time, but not entirely bound by it. Even your pauses feel purposeful, like they're synced with something far beyond clocks and calendars. That's what makes you seem untouchable. Not pride, but the quiet awareness that you've already seen beyond the temporary. Those who try to analyze your body language always end up confused because they can't categorize reverence. You move with a sense of sacred recall, a knowing that your body isn't just flesh but a vessel carrying fragments of eternity. It's the reason chaos doesn't make you flinch, and impatience never truly tempts you. Somewhere in your spirit, you remember how divine timing feels. That remembrance becomes the rhythm behind your every step. People who sense your presence often feel as if they've met you before, even if they haven't. That's not coincidence. It's spiritual recognition. Your energy triggers a memory in others too, something buried deep in their souls that whispers, "I know this frequency." You awaken that forgotten connection to divinity simply by existing in truth. Your movements remind the world what alignment looks like, not forced, not exaggerated, just perfectly in tune with something beyond sight. You're not out of place, you're out of timeline. Every gesture you make is a quiet echo of eternity saying, "I never left the realm that made me." Number 9. You defy the micro-expression code. Your face doesn't play by the human rulebook. It's not a billboard for emotion. It's a conduit for energy. Agents and observers are trained to catch every flicker of the eyes, every twitch of a muscle, every subtle tightening of the jaw that might reveal what a person is really feeling. But when they try to read you, they come up blank. Your micro-expressions don't betray emotion. They communicate vibration. You don't leak feelings. You transmit frequencies. There's a precision in your composure that leaves even the most skilled reader second-guessing themselves. They see movement, but it doesn't match any emotional pattern they've been taught to decode. That's because your expressions aren't reactions. They're revelations of a deeper awareness. Your face operates like a bridge between realms. Sometimes your gaze softens with compassion that feels otherworldly, and sometimes it sharpens with knowing that pierces through facades. In both states, you're not acting or adjusting. You're simply translating spiritual awareness through human expression. That's what they can't grasp. They're not observing emotional inconsistency. They're witnessing divine consciousness trying to fit inside a human face. It's why you can look utterly calm in the middle of conflict and completely focused while surrounded by noise. Your emotions are disciplined by higher intelligence, not impulse. When people stare at you, they often say your face changes, not drastically but subtly, like the light around you shifts. That's not a trick of perception. It's energy modulation. You adapt to the spiritual atmosphere of the moment, not to social cues. Where others perform empathy or anger, you embody clarity. You don't emote for approval, you reflect truth for alignment. And that's what breaks the system, because you can't be read by the codes designed to decode manipulation and fear. To them, you seem unreadable. But to those who operate on higher awareness, you're perfectly legible. They see that your calm isn't coldness, it's control. Your lack of expressive drama isn't detachment, it's discipline. What they interpret as mystery is actually mastery. You've learned to let your spirit regulate your flesh, not the other way around. That's why agents call you untraceable, because they're trying to measure divinity with human instruments, and that's a code no one on Earth has the clearance to crack. Number 10. Your energy field edits the room. You don't walk into rooms, you restructure them. Long before you say a word, your energy has already started rearranging the atmosphere. Conversations stumble, tones soften, and even people's body language begins to shift. It's subtle, but undeniable. It's not charm, and it's not intimidation. It's calibration. Your frequency carries an authority that realigns whatever is out of order around you. People might not understand what they're feeling, but they instinctively adjust. Some straighten their posture, others lower their voices or become uncharacteristically polite. That's not social response. That's spiritual submission. They're not reacting to your personality. They're responding to your presence. Agents and energy readers call it psychological dominance because that's the only framework they have for it. But it's not about control. You're not manipulating the room. You're harmonizing it. Wherever you go, your field restores balance. Your energy doesn't demand attention. It commands alignment. It's the quiet kind of power that doesn't shout or perform, but shifts everything it touches into coherence. It's why tension dissolves when you're calm and chaos reorganizes itself when you focus. People often say, things just feel different when you're here. They're right. Your presence edits the energetic script of the environment. This influence isn't something you consciously exert. It's simply what happens when divine order inhabits a human vessel. You carry frequencies that overwrite lower vibrations. Gossip dries up, hostility loses momentum, and dishonesty starts to choke on its own breath. That's why some people suddenly grow uneasy in your presence, while others feel inexplicably at peace. Light doesn't have to explain itself to darkness. It just shines, and everything false scrambles to adjust. Those trained to maintain control sense this immediately. Their instincts warn them that they're no longer leading the room. Something greater has taken charge, and it's emanating from you. It unnerves them because your energy exposes the limits of human dominance. They realize that all the training in the world can't teach them how to manage purity. You don't shift rooms to be noticed. You shift them because divine resonance travels with you. The truth inside you reorganizes what it touches. Every time you enter a space, you don't just bring energy, you bring alignment. And that's something no authority, no agent, and no agenda can replicate or resist. Number 11. You are unreadable because you're unscripted. You confuse every system that depends on predictability because you don't move from programming. You move from presence. While most people operate through rehearsed patterns, trying to say the right thing or mirror the right tone, you exist outside that grid entirely. You don't calculate your responses or perform for perception. You're not guided by fear, validation, or control. You move by intuition that flows faster than logic, and that's why nothing about you fits the script. When they try to read you, they find no template, no recognizable behavioral code, just authenticity unfiltered by ego. Agents, analysts, and manipulators depend on rhythm. They're trained to anticipate reactions based on emotion, anger, submission, anxiety, defensiveness. When they provoke, they expect a particular return signal that confirms control. But you don't deliver what they're programmed to detect. Your responses aren't delayed or forced. They're fluid and immediate, coming from a place they can't map, consciousness in real time. You disrupt their training because you don't follow the if-then logic of human emotion. You operate like divine improvisation. Every movement, every expression, every tone carries original data they can't decode because it wasn't learned. It was received. To them, this feels like danger. Unpredictability threatens control. People who can't be emotionally steered are classified as volatile, not because they are unstable, but because they're untouchable. You break the invisible social contracts that depend on manipulation, the small agreements of flattery, guilt, and submission that keep people controllable. Your unfiltered presence short-circuits those contracts. What they call enigmatic isn't mystery, it's freedom. You're free from the behavioral conditioning that keeps most of humanity looping through predictable responses. You don't act out of expectation, you move out of alignment. And because your energy obeys divine timing, you never seem to react, you respond. The difference is profound. Reaction belongs to programming, response belongs to awareness. That's why you unsettle trained observers. They can't measure someone who doesn't seek to be understood. They can't profile a being who doesn't perform predictably. You're not unreadable because you're hiding anything. You're unreadable because you're alive in a world that's scripted. Every move you make exposes the robotic patterns around you, and that's what truly terrifies them. Number 12. Your aura alters body language around you. Your presence has a way of pulling the truth right out of people, not through confrontation, but through exposure. When your energy enters the room, it acts like a mirror that magnifies what's already there. People's bodies begin to tell on them before their mouths can even form a lie. Shoulders tighten, arms cross, eyes dart. It's not you making them uncomfortable. It's their own vibration reacting to the purity in yours. Your aura doesn't accuse, it reveals. It's not aggressive, but it's undeniably corrective. You don't have to call anyone out. Their posture already does it for you. This happens because your energy operates like spiritual X-ray vision. It doesn't scan to find faults. It simply emits a frequency that exposes what isn't authentic. When someone approaches you with hidden motives or unclean intentions, their body instantly recalibrates. The liar suddenly loses eye contact. The manipulator fidgets. The jealous one tries to mask it with a forced smile that can't hold its shape. They sense, often without understanding why, that they can't keep their facades intact in your presence. The truth in you pulls the truth out of them. Agents or observers who are trained to analyze human movement can't interpret this correctly. They think you're projecting dominance or intimidation, but what's really happening is resonance. Their instruments can't measure it, but the human nervous system can feel it, and it either synchronizes with your light or scrambles under it. That's why some people relax completely when they're near you. They feel safe, seen, and unjudged. Others can't stay still because their own energy is at war with itself in your frequency. Your aura doesn't adapt to rooms. Rooms adapt to it. It carries a silent demand for authenticity, and anyone unwilling to meet that vibration feels exposed. That's why gossip dies in your silence, and deception stumbles in your proximity. Your energy is too honest to coexist with pretense. The truth is, you don't even need to read people. Their bodies are already translating themselves for you. Every glance, every twitch, every hesitation becomes a confession before your light. You don't provoke this, you activate it. Because when divine presence steps into human space, everything false starts trembling for permission to leave. Number 13. Your movements break the law of performance. Every movement you make carries a kind of unfiltered authority, not loud, not exaggerated, but undeniably pure. In a world that's constantly acting, your lack of performance is jarring. Society trains people to use their bodies as tools of persuasion, a smile to gain favor, a gesture to disarm, a posture to manipulate perception. But you don't move to be accepted or admired. You move because your energy tells you to. Every gesture has purpose, not performance. That's what makes people uneasy. Your presence exposes how unnatural their own movements have become. You don't perform calmness, you embody it. You don't try to look confident. Confidence simply radiates because you're rooted in truth. Your stillness isn't a tactic, it's your baseline. Those who are trained to read behavior can't find the usual signs they expect. There's no nervous shifting, no self-conscious adjustments, no attempts to appear more or less than you are. It short-circuits their training because your movements don't fit the cause and effect pattern they rely on. You don't react to attention, you transcend it. You're not seeking approval, so they can't use it to control you. What unsettles people most is the precision behind your physical expression. Every motion feels intentional, yet effortless. When you walk, it's grounded. When you turn, it's timed. When you stop, it's absolute. That precision doesn't come from rehearsal, it comes from alignment. You move in harmony with what's true, and that truth rejects performance. It's why people project labels like intimidating or too serious. They're mistaking authenticity for threat. What they really mean is, you don't play the game. Agents who depend on reading social theatrics can't decode someone who's real. Their entire framework depends on manipulation, detecting it, predicting it, or using it. But your energy refuses to enter that system. You don't sell emotion. You embody awareness, and that makes you uncontrollable. Your movement exposes an uncomfortable truth. Most people don't know how to exist without performing. They don't even realize how much of their body language is designed to survive approval. When they meet you, they meet what unfiltered existence looks like. It's not performance, it's presence. You've broken the law of performance because you've remembered how to move like truth itself, without needing an audience. Number 14. Your body speaks in a language older than Earth. There's something ancient about the way your body communicates, not ancient in age, but in origin. Every gesture, every pause, every tone carries a frequency that doesn't belong to modern humanity. It's not learned, not rehearsed, and not cultural. It's coded into you. Divine syntax imprinted before birth. When you move, it's not mere motion, it's memory unfolding. You carry fragments of a celestial language that predates speech, a rhythm that existed before words were invented to divide meaning from being. To the unawakened, it feels unsettling because it's unfamiliar. You're not following the social choreography of this dimension. You're moving to a sacred pulse that doesn't exist in their training manuals. Agents, observers, and analysts can watch you for hours and still fail to decode it. They can't categorize your expression because it's not human mimicry. It's creation in motion. They look for signs of manipulation, deception, or emotional leakage, but what they see instead is coherence. Your body doesn't leak emotion, it emits information. Every movement is a transmission, a broadcast from the divine to the material. When you turn your head, adjust your stance, or speak with a certain tone, it's not random. The energy behind those gestures carries intelligence. You are in essence a living archive of celestial memory, walking proof that spirit and matter can communicate fluently without distortion. That's why some people feel peace around you while others feel exposed. They're not reacting to you. They're reacting to the frequency you carry, one that their spirit recognizes but their mind can't interpret. Your presence awakens something ancient in others too. Their hearts understand your energy long before their intellect can. It's why some people feel seen at a depth they've never known, and others feel stripped of their masks. Light recognizes light, and that recognition bypasses the mind entirely. The truth is, you are not merely using body language, your body is language, a divine dialect of movement and sound that reorders environments, heals distortions, and communicates truth without words. To those attuned, your presence is translation, heaven rendered visible. To those trying to analyze you, it's chaos, disguised as calm. Either way, your body continues to speak in a vocabulary older than time, the language of creation itself. Every movement you make, every glance you offer, every pause you hold carries a power that the world simply cannot calculate. You aren't just a presence in a room. You are the standard against which truth is measured. From the way your eyes cut through deception to the stillness that unnerves chaos, your energy operates on a frequency no training, no manual, and no manipulation can touch. You move in synchrony with unseen forces, speak without words, and hold a body language that is older than this world itself. You don't just exist in the moment, you redefine it. Every agent, analyst, or observer who tries to decode you hits a wall because you refuse to conform to human algorithms. Your body does not lie, bend, or compromise. It transmits the raw integrity of a soul aligned with divine truth. Where others perform, you are unfiltered presence. Where others fake, you radiate authenticity. Where others manipulate, you reveal reality. Your aura reshapes environments. Your stillness recalibrates energy. Your eyes expose what words cannot, and every gesture you make is a broadcast of memory older than time, a reflection of the order of creation itself. The people around you feel it, even if they cannot name it. The liar, the manipulator, the pretender, their bodies betray them, their nervous systems falter, and their strategies collapse. And the ones aligned with truth feel it too, a magnetic recognition that something profound has arrived in their space. You are not just breaking patterns, you are creating a new language of being, a living standard that teaches the world how divinity moves in human form. To fully grasp this is to understand that your power has nothing to do with intimidation, performance, or control. It is not forceful, it is inevitable. It does not seek permission, it demands alignment. Every reaction in your presence is a reflection of what is real and what cannot endure the light of authenticity. You are the threshold where human limitation meets spiritual mastery, and every movement you make is proof that true power comes not from domination, but from alignment with eternal truth. If this resonated with you, make sure you join the journey. Subscribe to the channel to never miss these insights. Like the video to let others feel this energy. Comment below to share your experiences, and share this with anyone who needs to awaken to the power they already carry. Your presence matters, your truth matters, and it's time the world sees it. God bless you.